Hi, everyone. Welcome to It's a Cosmic Joke. We're going to start today. Okay, so today is September the 20th, and what I received at 2 a.m. this morning, we had a major wave come through, and also we are going to be quantum jumping again today. And I could feel it when I woke up, because at 2 a.m. I could hear the ringing and my ears going, "Wah!" And I was like, wave coming through. So I was, I would do the little singing in my head. And I was sitting there, I was like, this one's lasting along, because you could just feel the wave and the tuning of the frequencies of it. And then the dream state was just crazy. Completely all over the place.
Yes.
Dimensional traveling, some things where I was kind of like, how am I even here? Anyways, it was just very vivid, very lucid, but very dimensional. So it's definitely like interstellar traveling is what I was doing, because I was going from one place to the next, and I can notice that too. And then when I woke up today, how I know I'm about to do a quantum jump is my cells will start vibrating. So as soon as I wake up, it feels like anxiety. That's what it feels like you're waking up with anxiety, or I don't even know how to explain the feeling of it. It's like, it's not the best feeling to wake up with. So I used to think of it as like waking up with anxiety or whatever. So I could just feel it all throughout my body. And I knew as soon as I jumped up, and I was like, oh, we're quantum leaping again. I was like, we're going to quantum jump. Because what it's doing is it's pulling all this stuff out of our system to come to the surface, which explains all my inner child stuff last night.
Yeah.
Like,
I've had a lot too. Yes.
My human self going, but I don't understand, like stuff like, all those aspects coming out of me last night was because it needed to clear so I could quantum jump to my higher timeline, which is great. So when you start feeling the cellular level of it, and that's how I knew this morning. I started writing. I was like, oh, we're quantum jumping today again, which is really funny because we just did a leap on the 18th through the 19th. Yes. So we're jumping again. Okay. But these are big jumps through ascension waves. There's difference where we can jump whenever we want. We can, do the leaping and moving and shifting through every little turn that we make, thought process, all that, etc. We can do that, but these are major jumps to higher timelines, and then also higher vibrational frequencies as well. So that's what I have so far. Go ahead, I'll let you talk.
Okay.
For a minute.
Yeah, it has been an intense couple of days. There has been a lot of weird emotions, and there's times which I'm actually very happy with myself on having a voice, because it's like you say, that inner child comes up, and it's like, wait a minute, I don't think I understand this, and I think this just hurt my feelings, and it's like, I'm talking about it. I'm going, okay, what can you explain that to me more? And I've done that quite a bit in the last couple of days, especially with my husband. I'm like, okay, I think I took that wrong. I'm not understanding something, let's try again. Because that inner child me is not as reactive, and not just, F you and shuts down. It's like it's like peeking through, really wanting to know what's really going on, which I greatly appreciate. So it must be up to about 20 by now, and doesn't think that it knows everything. I'm not sure.
The inner child isn't. Well, having the conversation with the higher self, and that's what I told you last night, is where I pulled in my higher selves and my counsels. I was like, can we talk about the last 6 months? Like, can we have a meeting here? And they're like, well, it's your human self. I was like, yes, my human self and my inner child, and he wants to have a meeting with the highest of my higher self, who thinks they're running this vehicle. Like, bringing my higher self, and then I was bringing my counsel, and I was going, the last 6 months, and I'm like, but why? I'm like, but why did you? But why did you have to make me go through all these lessons when you know how in tuned I am with you? You could have just told me to do this, and that, or do some inner work or something. Did you really just have to like smash me to pieces? like that, like for
Obviously,
me,
yes. Obviously, yes.
And I was sitting there going, tearing my heart out for me to listen to all this stuff, and my higher self's going, yes.
Wait,
like my higher self's like,
but see,
you're in your human self is what the message was. They're like, okay, it's your human self that is having an issue with this right now. It's your emotional body that is having an issue with it. And I was like, I understand that, but I want to know. I was like, you have my inner child sitting here, all my aspects, really want you to answer some questions. That did you really have to set me up on all those lessons to do that? Now, some of them are actually missions to help others wake up, which is okay. I see the higher of it. But I was like, you could have, you see, this is where I was sitting. I was like, but you could have just told me to do this, and that instead of me, and then my higher self is just like,
we did.
I was like, my higher self is like, who cares? Like, in a sense was sitting there going, I'm like, well, it hurt, not my emotional feeling was like, but it hurt my feelings. And my higher self is like, kind of like, so what? Like, the higher self is really interesting talking to the human self and doesn't kind of just tells it like it is. And my higher self is, you had a mission, you knew what you were coming in here for, you go in and out, this is your human self and your inner child that's having a problem here with this right now. And for me to get you through your ascension process, if it's kicking and screaming to show you where you're unconscious at, that's what we're doing. That's what's going to happen. And I was sitting there like, okay, all right, I'll accept that, And then I really asked, I was like, so when are we actually going to start having fun? like when.
But you are a perfect example of how a hard-headed, controlling individual goes through the ascension process. Exactly. And you are just here to show people, okay, I'm hard-headed. I'm not going to change my beliefs. I'm not going to do anything about this. And you're going to have to take me kicking and screaming to get through this. And you're showing that you're still alive, that you're actually still progressing, and that all is well. We can do it any way that we need to. And again, it's like on a personal level, what your human has gone through, the higher self knows what that human is going to have to wake it up. I mean, to really knock the shit out of it, to get it cleared up. Because the point is, this physical body is genetics. It's electromagnetic machine. And the higher self needed the machine to come into to do its work. Yeah. So as they're sitting there, like I'm in the middle of writing a blog on it right now, that you're sitting there as a soul in front of, you're with your counsel and going, I want to do this. This is going to be cool. I think I want to experience this. Maybe I'll work on learning this. This will be fun. How about I do some of this? And they're like, yeah. Okay, we'll set that up for you. And they're like, well, hey, will you take on this while you're there? Whatever, just get me there. I want to do this stuff. It's like, okay, well, how about you do this? And they're like, yeah, I'll do it. So it's like they come up with this big calculation of, to achieve these things, to go through these goals, then you would need to be in this particular place of the galaxy, the planet, the world, wherever, this type of body, male, female, this ethnicity, this religious background, this, set of parents. And they're like, okay, for you to achieve all of those things, we found, 1, 2, whatever places that you can go do, and this should be your in to get your work done. And of course, we all go, yeah. And so we jump into a body. Yeah. And it's like, and all of a sudden, we have no training on this planet. And here we are in human form that we've set up for ourselves to do all the cool stuff that we wanted to do, plus missions. And again, by the age of 12, the normal, natural process has been that we were shown that all of the childhood traumas, of course, it wasn't as great in, previous days as children are going through now. Yeah. That you learn how to release that. You learn how to live from a soul level. You've got the ego personality in check, realizing that's a body. I'm a soul in this body, and it's time for me to start learning and working this body so that it does the things that I need it to do. And what's happening with this ascension process is everyone is getting hit with, 20, 30, 40, 60, 80 years of the ego personality running the body as a protective mode, because the higher selves weren't allowed in. They weren't brought in. We weren't taught to flourish through it that way. So the higher selves are now going, all right, these bodies need some work. There's too many rogue programs. There's too much manipulation. There's, negative alien, whatever. There's implants and all the rest of it. So the ascension process, as each wave comes through, it's highlighting for us what's in my body. So when people are like, I didn't set this life up for me, I would never have fucking, had a life like this. You're
yes,
right.
you did. Well,
no, you didn't.
Some of well, yeah.
Some did.
But some knowing came in here knowing and actually were able to pick their genetic lines and stuff coming in here.
Well,
anyway,
yes.
Go ahead.
But as far as the majority of stuff, once you reach adulthood, is not you creating all of this stuff. It's because on an energetic level, it's being held in the physical body. So because that trauma or grief or guilt or shame or whatever is an emotional resonance within your body, it automatically broadcasts. Like we're talking about the different bodies, the first 4 at least, that is your broadcast. That's what you're emitting out from your frequency. So all of that grief, all of that, shame, whatever is broadcasting out, and it's an automatic magnet. And that's why they talk about people being mirrors or whatever, is because what it's showing you is that what you are sending out is what you're giving, what you're receiving. So it's not that we have any intention of sending out, dirty, disgusting crap, but there's something on a cellular level within the body that needs to be cleaned up. So as it comes, it's like it's our responsibility now through this process to rid the body of all of these energies.
Yeah.
So it's like at some point, by the time you're 30, 40 years old, yes, you absolutely are making all of this stuff happen because your body is carrying it and you're just walking time bombs. Basically, we're walking time bombs that we've got so much coming at us that we don't know how to clear it. We're just constantly in dodge mode. It puts us into victim mode. It puts us in, survival mode because we don't know that we have to clear it out to get it to stop pouring in on us. So, the work that we're doing through the collective right now is clearing as much of that for people as we can. People are really they're inundated. They're at the bottom of depression. They're at the bottom of, the dark night of the soul, whatever anyone wants to call it, because they are so compounded with all of this stuff that they just don't even know where to start. How do I get it out of my body?
Yeah.
The dark night of the soul is, go ahead.
The dark night of the soul is death. It literally is. Like it's
ego death.
It's an ego death. When people say the dark night of the soul, it's not even the dark night of the soul. It's you die, you rebirth. That's what it is. And you will feel like you are dying. And there are certain lessons actually that will be set up into play from your higher selves that will make sure that it goes through smoothly for you to go through this death. But it actually is a hard expansion, but it is a death. Like, I don't know. It's you are dying. It feels like you are dying. It feels like your heart is dying. Like that's literally it's through the heart center. Big time.
All physical body.
And the lessons that will be put in, I call them more contracts, will be set up for you to have this done, to, for this heart expansion. It does feel like death. It's Phoenix cycles, if you want to say, but that's what it feels like. And then you rebirth, but you question a lot. Who am I? Why am I here? I want to go back home. These are, you go into the state, very, very very, very dark place. And you really want to climb out of it as fast as possible.
But you can't. You have to jump in and go all the way to the end. Yeah. And when you get there to your last, I can't go any further. Yeah, you can. And you will continue, because Miss Hardhead here knows how far you can drag that out until you finally get to the bottom and just go, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah. Me.
Yeah.
I'm a stubborn. I'm not saying that anymore. I'm not a stubborn woman anymore.
And I love you so much, and I have learned an
I do not
from you.
hold in resistance, but I am a commander. That's what I told my I was like, guess what? That's what my higher self told me last night too. My higher self, because this is obviously my, my commander. That was funny. She was just like, "You're a commander. Get your shit together." Like, and I was just like, only your human self I'm talking to. You integrate me all the time. And I was like, fine.
Mm-hmm. The human is,
it's like sitting there going, I was like, all right.
Well, the human is really, I mean, it's slow process, obviously.
Yeah.
But the human is just, it has its own ideas. And the older that we are, the more difficult it is. It really, really is, because we have survived. We have gone through all of this that we knew worked, but it's all being thrown out the door. Because like you say, the higher self doesn't give a shit about your feelings. Feelings are part of the humans. And
well, it's the human that's having a hard time.
Yes.
That's what it is. And it's
yeah, so. It is. Sorry guys, I realize we're doing a lot of swearing in this one, but oh well.
Oh well. High vibrational swearing.
Hell yeah. And coffee.
The higher self really doesn't.
It sees the perfection in all of it.
It's love. It's unconditional love. But mine is harder on me. But the higher self, the way that they think of humans is like, like, to them is like, no. Like, it's kind of like, you're in your human self. I'll listen to you for a little bit. Come talk to me when you're out of this. Say, I'll give you your answers, and then talk to me when you want to raise higher and actually look from, the hawk perspective or whatever, like the hawk's view is where you raise up with me for a little bit and let me show you what we're doing here. Okay, fine.
Exactly.
But you already know, like, that's what you already know. You've been downloaded with it. I've taken you up here. I've showed you everything, and then here you go.
Your human's going, no.
Your human's going, but this, but that. But this, and then you have your little inner child coming up and going, well, this and this and that hurt my feelings, but why? You ever heard like the little 5-year-old or 4-year-old asking all the questions?
Why?
But why? Are we there yet? Are we there? Are we there yet? That even came there last night. It's like I asked, are we there? Are we there yet? Am I going to be able to do this?
That's good.
You said
and that's what
again.
And that's why, like we were just talking before about the bodies. We have the physical body.
Yeah.
And again, we meaning I as a soul. I have a human physical body, and I am in a physical body. And when you look at the physical body is surrounded by energy, and that's your emotional body.
Yeah.
So outside of the body are all of your emotions. So when people are really emotional, it's like, okay, look at that field around you, the first auric field. This is your emotional body. And that's why some people react so quickly to emotions, because that field is directly at the body. So they have the emotional level. Outside of that is your mental body. So again, these three, and then the fourth one is your auric body. I mean, that's what they call it, the causal body. Yep. These first four are what has got to be under control, or in alignment, I guess is a better word, in balance within each human form, because it needs, what we're working towards is, and then you receive the first Merkaba through the second Merkaba. You can get both Merkabas at that point, because then you are ready to be able to fly. If you are still in conflict and your emotional body, your mental body, and your physical body are not in alignment and they're just fighting with each other, you're triggered. I mean, it's just like chaotic. You're in, lower density energies. You're doing shit that you shouldn't be doing, and you're not even working towards clearing it out. Or even if you are working towards clearing it out, you're still having habits that are feeding old crap in. It's like it's a weird catch-22 of, yeah, you have to be able to say, I understand that's my story. This is what my body has gone through. And to really master those first 4 bodies to get them into alignment. You're not going to be clear. None of us were clear at that point. Hell, we're not clear, and we're even up on the 7th, 8th body for, the 7th Merkaba, 8th body. But to be able to have the majority of it, again, it's that having, 80%, 90% connection and working so that all of it's working together. So your physical body, your mental body, and your emotional body have got to at least be working together and know how to communicate.
Yeah.
To be able to get past. And that's the hard part for these new awakeners, because you got programs running.
We have we have a lot of programs running, but something else that my counsel actually wants me to talk about is that they're getting led astray, like on certain things, thinking that we're supposed to be all positive, love and light, and that if you're feeling
false
anger,
timelines.
Those are false Christ timelines, by the way. If you feel like you have anger coming in, you feeling this emotion, and you're like, oh my God, this is a negative emotion, I can't be like this. That's false. You have to be able to feel my experience, what I'm sharing about me and my inner child and my human self and my emotions, talking to my higher self. My higher self wants me to do that. Wants me to feel these emotions, wants me to if it gets angry, cry, sad, whatever needs to be pulled up, do it. Run naked.
Screaming, yelling, oh my God. No, don't do that.
No, I'm kidding. I don't want to get
I know.
I'm joking. Anyway, scream into a pillow. Go in your car and go, ah! Yes, get it out, but don't sit there too long.
Right.
Clear. When you're clearing, that's a part of clearing. Not to sit there and suppress. If you're suppressing it, you feel like you're supposed to be positive all the time. No, that's not what it's going to be. You're going to feel these emotions. That's how you're clearing. That's clearing. Don't stay there too long. Get it out. Shift your energy, okay? And shift as fast as, and don't ignore and don't suppress. I was a suppressor.
Suppressors Anonymous, yeah.
Yes. I was a suppressor of all my feelings. I turned to alcohol because of that. That right there.
Exactly.
Suppression. I was very stubborn. I'm not stubborn anymore, because I'm not going to say that anymore, because then that's ego. I have to change all my wording around. And sitting in resistance. So, but feel all it's okay to feel all these things, and just don't sit there for too long. I'm not
which is difficult,
crazy,
but yeah, the greatest thing I think that we can let people know is when you say don't sit there too long. I mean, who knows how long? For sometimes, I can do it in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Sometimes, it can be a day, it can be 2 days, it can be a week. But what we're saying is, when you're in that releasing stage of feeling all of this, the best you can, don't place blame. Don't be the victim. Don't be in the space of, well, they did that to me, and oh my gosh, and don't relive it. Don't sit there and relive and recreate that same story again, because it's really, really critically important that we recognize, if I was 12 years old when that event happened, and I need to release how I felt at that time that I never was able to, to release, never able to feel, because I had to suck it up, buttercup, get on with what I needed to do. And life went by and I threw it in a closet, hoping to never have to open it again. As it's coming up, because it has to be cleared, when I look at that 12-year-old me, or whatever age, it becomes, I maintain who I am now, witnessing and observing what 12-year-old me went through. It gives me chills. I mean, it gives you a whole nother perspective, because yes, that 12-year-old me had those emotions, that feeling that never was expressed. They do have to come up, but do not put yourself back as a 12-year-old child and put yourself back through the experience, reliving it again, telling the story again, because all you're doing is you're just creating those emotions all over again, at which point you're going to stop and going, oh, I feel better. No, all you've done is release the boiling pot so that it started to, to steam, and then you just put the lid back on it and stuck it away until it boils up again.
No, you have to
You've
go deep.
got to
deep,
get
deep,
it all.
deep.
You have to finish it.
You have to
You
know
have to finish it.
when did you feel these feelings? You know what I did last night? Like, besides everything else I did.
No idea.
I told you, the stuff that I come up with. I put myself, and I've done this before, I put myself in an energetic bubble. Okay?
Yes.
Like, kind of in a bubble. That way I'm not, of course I'm not. Yeah,
we are.
Which we are. But I put myself like in a quarantine. I was like, okay, I'm just going to sit here in quarantine because I don't want to send energy to any, people, place, things, events, blah, 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 whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to feel these emotions. I want to be able to dig, because I don't want to send, we don't want to do the blaming and sending energy, because we're so aware. If you're aware of sending energy through thoughts, forms, emotions, you're responsible at this point. Okay, you are responsible for your actions. You have universal laws, et cetera, et cetera. So I put myself in a little bubble, and I was like, I'm really going to start digging, and I'm going to start filling these out. And why do I feel this way? And you can do the blame thing a little bit, because I don't want to kind of suppress it, but I want to really know, let's turn this around, because and you have to be able to transform these programs. So I'll be sitting there doing wording, and this is, let's say this hurt me. Okay. And then I'll be like, no, I hurt me. Like certain things, like I'll be switching certain thought processes around, or certain things around, and trying to transform them. And the biggest thing that I've been working on is forgiving myself. Okay. So I'm going in and forgiving myself. And then I have to go to, I have all my aspects and my inner child there, and really have to go talk to my inner child and be like, okay, you need to let this go now, but giving my inner child a lot of love, but actually talking, do you remember, this is why you feel like this, and you don't feel like this, you're not abandoned. Okay, you never were abandoned. I'm here. I love you. Like, let's talk about this. And then, this is how you feel. Of course you feel like this. Like holding space for your inner child. And then all your other aspects. Then I went to my shadow aspect. That was interesting. And I was sitting there going, my different aspects. But then I had my teenage child there too. So I was bringing in, a lot, just to sit there and really talk. But I'm getting these feelings out, but not sending energy to anybody. So the whole point of this bubble, whatever I said, I just looped really big. Okay. It's so I don't send anything out. Why I'm working through this. We want to transform these old programs. You want to transform them and work through them, not ride on the old stories. But sometimes that old story that you're riding on, you really need to talk out and transform to see what it is. Mm-hmm. This is how you're feeling. Are you placing blame, or this is the old story? It's pretty much internally inside of you.
Yeah, that's the whole point. It's your world.
It's your world. So have more value for yourself. Have more respect for yourself and others. Like, there's certain things that we're working on. Where did I lose this respect? Where did I lose my self-worth? When did it really start? So then you have to go all the way through your timelines, which I love my guides, because my guides will sit there and be like, okay, it was between 3 and 4 or 5, and that's even how I work with my clients. They'll just come in and be like, this is the memory you need to pull up right now.
That's
so
exactly,
you want to talk through it. So that's what I do. So let's talk through it, and I'll be talking with my counsel about it. How did you feel? And then I have to talk to my inner child at the same time. Okay, all right. So it doesn't matter. So can we move this off? Like, let's work through this,
And the wording that
you gotta let this go. So,
and the wording I'm finding helpful. Yeah.
With my clients, I'm not that harsh. I'm very nurturing with my clients.
Yeah, exactly. Me too.
I'm a tough love client. Patient. There you go.
Oh my gosh. I think I mastered the tough love. I'm not sure.
I'm trying to give tough love to myself. Move out, soldier.
The the wording that I'm finding helpful in working with the inner child is not like let it go, because we're so tired of that. It's so ridiculous that what I'm using is I'm moving forward without this. How about we just move forward without this and
Well, that's a
allow
good
the
one.
child,
Let me write this
just let
down.
the kid put it down. I mean, you're like,
Yeah.
can we move forward without this? You know, what do we need to do to just keep moving and just kind of just move forward? We
Let's
don't
move
need it.
forward. Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell my inner child, I said, give me your hand. Of course, I keep telling my inner child how much I love my inner child, because it's
Right.
love, and I do the connection through the eyes too, because that's downloading. So I've tried everything with that beautiful aspect of me. I would take its hand and be like, okay, now you're going to stand by me and we're going to walk this journey together.
I've done that too.
And we're going to move forward now. So come on. And I want to see visual. I want to imagine my inner child being happy and being like, okay, like maybe having a lollipop and just coming with me and being, whatever made my inner child happy at that point in time. The way it's
Exactly.
it's the imagination is key. So,
which comes down to, I mean, we when we look at it that way, we've abandoned ourselves. We've abandoned that hurt child within ourselves. And we're going back now going, okay, I'm here. I'm here for you. Let's work through the trust issue. How does my inner child get to where it trusts me? How can we move together, working through whatever it needs to? When did it need to feel like it was appreciated? When did it need to be acknowledged? What was the thing? So it's me giving that to me that no one else gave me. Or if they did give me, I was not in a receptive place of being able to accept. So I'm not blaming anyone for not giving me something that I needed. I may not have been in a place where I even could accept what they were trying to give me because of trauma or whatever else. Trauma's huge. It shuts you down.
Yep.
So it's just going back through, and you don't have to know the experiences. If you don't have recall, if you don't know of, this X happened 1, 2, 3, it doesn't matter. If an emotion is coming up, it's an emotion that the child felt, and you as an adult look at what is that emotion and what do I need, or what could I have done or can I do for a child that feels that. And that's the way you respond to yourself. We have to keep looking at ourselves better, going, wait, I'm angry. Okay, cool. How do I respond to an angry child? Or how should I respond to an angry child? Because anger just means that there's loss of control. You're in fear. Something's, not right. And you don't sit there and yell at an angry kid, because what is that going to accomplish? You pick them up. You're like, can you tell me what's going on?
Most people do.
Which just adds to the trauma. It's like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? So if I'm upset and crying,
parenting today, my God. Anyways.
Yeah. Anyway, I know. Wrong. Well,
I would say the past 100 years, maybe longer. Right. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're right. I mean, but it's how do we know? How should we treat a child? How
would we know? How would we know though? That's what I remember. I talked to you on the phone the other day. You're like, I have to change my belief systems within my, my family and stuff like that. And I sat there, had an epiphany. I'm like, I don't even know what real family is, with all the control programs and all the narcissists and all the fear tactics and the way I was in the way that we're raised. And it's not my parents' fault, because they were like that too. Know. And it's not my grandparents' fault, because that's how they were raised too. And it's et cetera, going through, it's generation after generation after generation. It takes a lot to actually know when you look at your parents and it's not their fault, because it's not. I'm sorry. That's when you actually have evolved. When you actually when you're able to look at the programs that are writing in them, and then the programs writing in who raised them, and then et cetera, then you'll be able to see what you're clearing on a genetic level. Right there. So that's the epiphany, is like, how do I even, oh my God, how do I do that?
Yeah. Nobody said it was easy, and nobody said it was quick. I mean, it's step by step, and for each of it's going to be individual, because how I want to be treated as a child and how I would treat a child is different on a soul frequency than yours.
It's too.
It's like I have to find my own ways of doing that.
Yes, exactly. It's like My ET2, my Andromedan guide goes, you start with unconditional love. Thank you. Because we're transforming. So if we don't know what these programs, that's what we're going to, like you said, create new. There you go. Because you said this, I think the other day, to create new ones. So we have to create new. So where do we create? We start with unconditional love. What would we want it to look like after so much clearing we've done? What would you want the family to look like? What would you want your parenting for your children to look like? Creation.
That's the most important, exactly, because there's no reason for us to even attempt to change the medical system, the school system. Just drop it. Do not even bother putting your energy towards attempting to change the systems. We create a system that is going to work for us.
Yep.
We create it. We look at it and go this, and of course it changes and morphs. This is how medically we can take care of ourselves and our physical bodies. This is how we take care of our families and our elderly and our children. This is how we do what is best for what we know at this point. So by creating a new system, it allows the other system to keep doing whatever it wants. The people can keep going in that system, but at some point they're going to look over and recognize, like, wow, those are some healthy, happy people, and those kids are really productive and things are really going well. I think we need to move over to this system. And that way the system is already in place. It's already going, so that when more masses, and pretty soon the old system's just going to fall away.
Yeah, it's
anything
the ripple
you fight,
effects.
Exactly. Anything you resist persists. Same with politics, same with anything else. You're like, okay, I see it. I'm creating a new system that is in agreement with who and what we are as a soul group, as a collective, as galactics, as whatever, wherever you want to build it from.
That's what we came in here for, and that's why we're changing it within ourselves. And the frontliners are the ones that are actually doing it and have been doing it for a long time. But we're the ones doing it, so we could change it for our whole soul group. So you want to start, if you want, you have to go inside. Yeah, you have to do your inner work. If you don't, if you can morph everything within yourself, because we are the creators. We are the master creators. First, you have to realize that you are. These are certain things. If we do it within ourselves, then we're changing its ripple effect. And a lot of us, that's what we came in here to do. Yeah. That's what we came in here to do for the collectives. It was one of our highest missions.
I came to kick some ass.
I came to kick some ass too, and then I took a break.
Then I thought I was a human, and I was like,
oh my God. Then I thought I was a human again, and I was like, yeah, I kind of want to go back home now. Last night that came up too, I just was like, I want to go home. My counselor's like, oh, here we go. I was like, they're like, okay, and I'm like, for a little bit. Those came up like 3 times, and that's how I knew I had a big shift coming. Yes. That's how always. That's how I know I have a big shift, is because when I start saying that again, it's kind of like it's a running thing. It's just really funny. But see, like, where's home? I didn't even have, I didn't think about Andromeda. That's not what was coming through. Home to me at this point, I always say home is where the heart is. So that I want to go home within my heart.
To have, yes.
Yeah, it's inside. So it was interesting.
But it's a good point to make, because all of us get to the point where, like, I'm done. I'm over this. I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. This is ridiculous. And even on a human level, when those who aren't awake, that tells you right there that you're about to do a jump. Your life is about ready to change. And if you can sit back and go, okay, and accept the change, instead of getting even more angry and more off center because everything in your life just fell apart, you should go, yes, everything in my life just fell apart to get rid of all the stuff that I don't need. That's not in alignment with where I'm going. Exactly.
I knew this one. I was like, oh, quantum direct, because I worked so hard through all that stuff. And I was like, and then I finally got out of it after about an hour and a half. And I was like, this is cool. I was like, so I'm going to go and start creating some things.
All that cord cutting stuff went.
That was funny. I had to feel my emotions. If I didn't feel my emotions, you know, and I sat there and I talked through it for about an hour, and then everything just went, and I was like, all right, fine. You know, like, I was like, it's just, it's what comes up, and it's okay. It's okay.
Absolutely. It is okay. Because it's got to come out of me.
It
I don't
does.
want that. I don't want, see, because it comes to the point where going, I don't want it in me anymore. And it doesn't matter what it is that's coming up. It doesn't matter from when, where, or whatever, or even from, you know, my great, 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 great grandmother. If it's hers that's still in a genetic cell in my body and it needs to come up right now, I want it gone.
Yeah.
Because again, that vibrational broadcast, I don't want to bring in other things, because what happens is the higher self is illuminating this stuff within our bodies, going, okay, I still see this little patch right here. So I need to bring something from the outer to come and match that, to bring this up so that she can see that she still carries this so she can get rid of it.
Yep.
But instead, what's happening is this stuff comes up, people are reacting and then getting up angry and mad, and I didn't create this, I didn't make this happen, you know, and go through this whole ridiculousness. When we look at it, it's the higher self going, I want a clean car. I need you to clean the car, and I need you to get that physical body cleaned out so that I can come in here in my full glory and do the things that I can do.
Yes. And then, and this is good. So after all the little crazy cord cutting and all my inner child stuff came up, and I was like this, you know, and then finally I came back and I was like, fine, I'll listen. They're like, Akasha, like, that's in my counsel. All right, fine. Okay. They say to me this, and I love my crew. I love my team, my, you know, selves. They're like, all right, where in the physical body are you having sensations? And I was like, oh, this is good. Thanks, guys. Like, so, because this is the physical body is what we're clearing out. So I actually looked, and I was sitting there going, okay, the liver, the gallbladder. Okay, what sits in the liver? Anger, resentment, I think bitterness, and something else. And then there was other places on the body, and they were like, okay, so let's go in and let's clear this now, because this is what's coming up. So it's actually, it will come in up on the physical body where you're feeling all of this, what needs to be cleared. And it was just beautiful. And I love them because they're so like step by step by step, and they let me feel everything, and they'll give me my reminders, but they really let me just go through my process. And then they'll be like, okay, so let's look at this. Let's look at the physical body. Where are the sensations coming up? Oh, and my feet. My feet.
Yeah. I had a lot of that too, feet.
I was like, wow.
And my left, mostly the left elbow, it's like I'm always reaching out that somebody's touching me. It's like that, feeling that, and I'm like, what? And like I'm looking, going, it's not my hair, especially if my hair's up, but I'm like, what is going on? But the clearing, and again, that's why they were talking when we mentioned at the beginning of this, those first three bodies, physical, emotional, and mental, have got to be in alignment.
Yep.
You have got to know what your emotions are and where it is in the body, that what your emotions are and what your mind is doing, you know, what your mind is doing and what the body is feeling. Those three you have to be fully aware what your body's doing when you're thinking something and when you're feeling something, because that's the GPS. That's the system that shows you everything that needs to be cleared or that needs to be released, or whatever word you want to use.
Yeah, and I felt it in the left. It's really funny because before I even got into the inner child and the emotional stuff, the whole left side of my brain, because I told you I've been doing a lot with the Vesica Pisces and the Trinity, right. The whole left side of my brain was just like tingles. Like, not the tingles, but you know, it feels like electric static.
Yeah.
Probably for like hours before it even happened. So I knew, even on that, a lot of stuff that was coming up was from the left side of my brain too, as well. And it's kind of like, this is how I look at it. It's like I go into neutral, kind of like Robin said. I'll go into 0 point. I'll go into now for a few days. And then it's almost like this electrical GPS surge going, like, I don't know how to explain it. And things just get a little bit haywire. And I'm like, oh, this will start coming up. And then I'll be like neutral again. And then neutral. It almost feels like it's like glitches. But it's okay, because I rather just look at those. It's like a short circuiting in our electric field, because everything's electric. It's plasma.
Yes.
Our whole field we're plasma. We really are. And we are moving from a carbon base to crystalline beings. This is what we're moving towards. Yeah, whatever. I lost it. I don't know where I was saying it. Go ahead.
Okay.
I really just got.
It happens, but I love it.
Today is gonna be interesting. I could tell because I've been floating around a lot since I woke up. It feels like it's gonna be a great day.
Absolutely. Yeah, I want to record a few more meditations on this new series that I'm starting and see how they come out. And
yeah,
my book. I should have the proof of my book on Monday, which I'm excited about. Yay! So, yeah. Is there anything else we want to cover today? We think we're good, or
no?
next
We'll
time
probably just save the other because we're already, we're pretty long in. So Sunday we'll make sure we focus on what you had on your writing.
Yeah. Okay. Because the newest information coming through about some of our shields, the Merkabas, the bodies, and etc. So it's a good page worth.
Yeah. So we'll have some good stuff. We got really stuck on the inner child today, but this must be what's really coming up in the collective. So
yeah,
this is what obviously we were supposed to talk about. So we love you guys.
Yes, we do.
We love you.
Thank you.
And we'll see
Bye.
you again on Sunday.